It's supposed to feel.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show. I'm Jim. With me today is Doug. Doug, Pirates lose 10-1. How's it going?
It's going just swell. It's
swell.
The same Pirates issue that it's been since May 1st. Team can't hit. And sure, the pitching was bad, but it doesn't matter because the team can't hit.
Today was one of the worst games I think this team has played all season long.
Yeah,
just in
every facet.
Yeah, every facet of the game was terrible. You mentioned the hitting. They mustered up only 4 hits today, only 1 extra base hit. And that extra base hit was the first at bat of the game. And that was it. They scored a run in the first inning, and then they went zeros the rest of the way. 4 hits. They got 2 walks. They struck out 12 times. Pitching, again, you almost started feeling good about Bailey Falter. You know, he put up a couple decent outings in a row. And then today kind of looked like he was starting to settle in, but then unravels in the 4th, unravels again in the 5th. He gives up 6 runs in 4 2/3. Jose Hernandez gives up 4 runs in relief. Just a pretty terrible ball game all around.
Right. And it's the kind of game that does not give, we have some bad games, but you're like, well, some of the young guys did something. And I mean, this game gave you no hope for a future. It's like, well, Bailey Falter is going to be in the rotation next year. I don't know how encouraged I am by that, and right. It's just a blah team right now. They're playing boring baseball. They're doing nothing to keep us engaged. At this time of year, you want to see progression from some of the young guys, continued progression from Hayes, that sort of thing. And this game in particular, you just didn't get any of that. Nobody looked good. Nothing. There was no signs of encouragement. Coley Bolton, I suppose, pitched fine. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, there wasn't anything to say, well, no. I mean, no, just everybody looked bad. The decision-making looked bad.
I want to hit on, like you mentioned the frustration, right? And that frustration is a word that we use a lot when doing Pirates post-game shows. But this game in particular, and this whole series, and really the season series against the Cubs in general, you look at it and you think to yourself, okay, here's a team that, has more resources than the Pirates for sure. Kind of tore everything down from that team that they built and competed and won a World Series, and that whole team is gone, right? And they started tearing that team down in 2021. And then you saw the Cubs kind of going through this rebuild process where last year, it was rough for them. This year they go out there and they spend some money to bring in some guys. And I think just what's frustrating is, as Pirates fans, we're going through this rebuild. We're in year 4 of this rebuild. And when you just stack yourself up against the Chicago Cubs, who the Pirates are now 1-9 on the season against, but like you stack these two organizations up against each other, and you see the Cubs pitching today. Javier Assad, a 26-year-old rookie, just turned 26. He goes out and he just dominates the Pirates. Nico Horner, young guy, having a great season. 3 hits today. You see someone in Dansby Swanson who the Cubs spent some money on, and he's going to be their shortstop for the next 5 years, right? Ian Happ, who really isn't all that great of a baseball player, but just crushes this team. They go out and they get Cody Bellinger, and he's back to MVP form. Suzuki, like this whole lineup up and down, the young guys for the Cubs are performing. They've got guys knocking on the door. They supplement those guys with major league talent who perform and do well. And it almost just seems hopeless, Doug. You look at the Pirates and you're like, all of this that we're going through, can we ever be as good as the Cubs? Because at the end of the day,
and they're
beat the Cubs.
They're third in the wild card. It's not like they're dominating the National League. It's not like our aspirations are to be the Braves. Can we just be the Cubs, who don't even seem like they're all in yet, right? They seem like they were kind of patching holes. Ian Happ is probably the most disappointed that there's less division games this year, because he wants more games against the Pirates, because when he plays the Pirates, he's, in his prime Juan Soto, not Jack Sawinski, as may have been said on this podcast at one point or another. Right. The problem is, do we think we'll go sign a first baseman like Cody Bellinger next year? No, we will not. Will we sign a pitcher as good as Jameson Taillon, who has not been great for him? No, we will not. We're
use Marcus Stroman, right?
Right.
As an example.
What would be a simple solution next year would be sign Bellinger and sign, Julio Urias, and suddenly we could contend in this division. But what we're going to do is we're going to put Bailey Falter out there. We're going to hope Roansy and Ortiz work it out. We're going to hope that Peguero or Gonzalez figure it out at second base. We're going to hope that Bay or Sawinski figures it out in center field. We're going to hope that Henry Davis can figure it out in right field. And we're going to be, again, in year 5 of a rebuild, we're going to aspire to 78 victories, and maybe not be in 5th place. We'll be predicted and we'll be expected to be in last in the division next year, because the Cardinals will go out and, they'll go out and sign 2 or 3 starting pitchers. They'll make a move. They'll make a trade. They'll do whatever. We are going to just still establish that it's not quite the time to spend yet. We're not going to go over to that other aisle. We're not going to shop in a different aisle in free agency next year. It's going to be Alfonso Rivas at first base, and maybe, we'll mix in one of the second basemen, who knows, but right. When the simple solution, you can improve this team dramatically without breaking the bank. But we won't do it. And so, yeah, it does feel hopeless. We watch what the Reds are doing. We watch what Milwaukee's doing. We're going to watch what the Cardinals do in this offseason, and we'll make some signings in January. And there'll be some head scratchers like, why did we sign another middle infielder that can't play shortstop, that can't hit, right? Those are going to be the offseason discussions that you guys have, on your North Shore 9 lives. So, it's discouraging. It is discouraging. You know what I did today during the game? I read about the 1979 World Series. I needed to have some warm fuzzy feelings about the Pirates. So.
Yeah, no, it's not that there's like, man, Michael might even hit the nail on the head here. Like, it's almost getting to the point where you start feeling hopeless, because every single top prospect, and we talked about this a little bit last night, but every single top prospect the Pirates have called up this year, especially on the pitching side of things, right, has failed. They've been an epic failure. And without some of those guys turning into major league quality rotation pieces, this rebuild it's done. It's dead. Like, it's not gonna happen unless they can fill up 3/5 of their rotation with homegrown talent, at least. Right. And we haven't seen any signs of that being able to happen. And I think that's just the frustrating part. Bailey Falter is a guy that, he's not really highly heralded, but, he's probably someone who, he's fringe major league starting pitcher. And today just absolutely can't get it done against this Cubs team. And then you look across the aisle and you see Javier Assad, just some guy, Cubs number 14
right, another
prospect.
Some guy, right, similar to what Bailey Falter is, just some guy that you're hoping can be your 5th starter. But he's a 5th starter, only gives up 3 hits, and ours can't get out of the 5th inning.
It's tough. Jose Hernandez, rough outing today. I think the Pirates at that point, the game was over, and I think Shelton just was like, "Hey, just this 9th inning is yours," and he gave up 3 runs in that 9th inning. I do want to touch on Cody Bolton. He was probably the only bright spot today. I'll give Cody Bolton some credit because on May 29th, Doug, I don't know if you remember, but May 29th, the Pirates faced the San Francisco Giants, and Cody Bolton put together what I thought was potentially like a career-ruining outing. Where
I do recall you saying that. Yeah,
he gave up. He got
the last time we saw him. Right.
Yeah, he recorded 1 out. He gave up 6 hits, 2 walks, allowed 8 runs. He was immediately sent down after that outing. But to give Cody Bolton some credit, first off, today he goes 2 scoreless. But to give Cody Bolton some credit here, let me go back here just so I can see. Cody Bolton 2 scoreless. He went 2 scoreless today, right? Yeah, 2 1/3 scoreless.
2 1/3, I think.
But yeah, to give him some credit there, he's been up and down kind of since then. June 2nd, he gets another opportunity, inning and 2/3 scoreless. June 28th, he gets 1 inning scoreless. July 16th, scoreless inning. August 13th, scoreless inning. And then today, 2 1/3 scoreless. So this is now 5 straight outings since that just absolute disaster that we saw from him, where he at least hasn't allowed any runs. Has he looked, pretty during all of those outings? Not necessarily, but you know what? Shout out to him because like that game, 8 runs in 1/3 of an inning, like it's tough to come back from something like that. And he's put together 5 outings now, spread out over 3 months, just kind of up and down, where he hasn't given up a run.
Right. And he's sort of doing it with the pressure with each game, like he's pitching for his career, right? Like it's if he came up in that next game and had another bad outing, he could have easily been a DFA candidate. So yeah, so hats off. I cheer for guys like him because, we sort of liked him, and then he got hurt. He hurt his knee, and then we forget about him. We sort of write him off. And, he's battled back. I don't know what to expect from him. But, he certainly has the talent probably to be able to, be in a bullpen. And, I don't expect to bring him in the 9th with 2 guys on, anything like that. But, and we say this a lot, it seems like we have 27 guys that can pitch the 5th and 6th inning. Right. Much like we have a lot of 5th outfielders and a lot of guys that can be the 26th man on the roster. And it'll be nice when if we ever start talking about, hey, this guy could be a 2 or a 3 in the rotation, or he could pitch in the 8th or 9th. But hey, it's our lot in life right now.
Yep. And you bring up a good point. Cody Bolton was, pretty highly regarded prospect at one point in time. After 2019, he put together some pretty good seasons in 2017, 18, and 19 before, get COVID and then getting injured. And so, yeah, you kind of forgot about him, but I don't know what is there. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. He's probably like a best case scenario. He's probably just like a 6th inning middle reliever type of guy right now. And you hope that he can become that. And you've seen some positive signs from him over the last few times out. So just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. I mean, right now he can fit in with one of our 3 bullpen games, each time through the rotation. So, I mean, he should get some opportunity. I don't know. If we're having to have too many discussions about Cody Bolton, the season has gone off the rails, the rebuild has gone off the rails, and good luck to him. I hope he does well. It'd be great if he could sort of break through somehow, but right. It is what it is.
Rest of the lineup, though, rest of the team, just just a bad day all around.
Yeah.
Leo Peguero over 3 strikeouts. G1 Bay 3 strikeouts, Swinski 2 more strikeouts. Swinski did at least get 1 hit today.
Got an infield single.
Infield single. So I think that was his 6th hit of the month. Just no one got on base, and when they did get on base, like nothing happened.
And honestly,
Palacios had 2 hits. So
right. The people that got Palacios 2 hits, he's terrible. Bay got a hit, and Sawinski got an infield single. I mean, these aren't any people I'm counting on in the future. I mean, they may be contributors in some small way, but this is not who I'm expecting. I mean, Andy wasn't playing. But again, it'd be nice if Peguero could gain some form of consistency, but I don't have much expectation for that. I can't expect Brian Reynolds and Ke'Bryan Hayes to get hits in every game. So, I mean, again, we're putting out lineups that are comparable to the past couple of years, where you don't expect anyone after the 3rd or 4th batter to be able to get a hit. It's really that. If they do, it's like, oh wow, look at that. Alika Williams got a hit. Wow, but there's nothing. I mean, and I understand that Henry's injured right now, but the people I want to see hitting right now are Kutch, Hayes, Reynolds. I mean, Peguero would be nice. Endy and Henry, right? The guys that you really expect to be part of the core, the foundation of what we're doing. Because if it's similar to what you said about the pitching, if we don't have our internal options produce and become very good players, we're certainly not getting them from the outside. That's not the aisle we shop in. So, and the values that are, again, last year, we had high hopes that Cherington may go out and get a starting pitcher that, and everybody we were attached to in those first couple of weeks all went and signed for $12 and $15 million deals, where I thought Cherington thought he could get them for 7 and 8, right?
Yep.
So we got Velasquez and Hill, and I think we got more from them than we expected, actually. So
yeah,
it's not that those were terrible signings, but those aren't the guys. Those are the guys that can keep you on track. They're not getting you over the hump, and the guys that are going to get this team over the hump are pretty much in the organization. So if they're not able to do it, if this coaching staff can't get it out of them, we're in trouble again, or perpetually.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. You have anything else to say about this game or this series?
No, I mean, I checked out in this game somewhere in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
I think. So, this series, I mean, it's awful. The Cubs are my most hated team. I know for a lot of people, it's Cincinnati and St. Louis. For me, it's the Cubs. To me, the Cubs represented sort of the whole time that the Cubs were owned by the WGN and the newspaper and all that sort of stuff. And they made Yankee money, but we're in last place all the time. It drove me crazy because the Pirates, I'm like, oh, if the Pirates had that kind of money, we'd be so. Clearly, we probably wouldn't either. But I just thought that the Cubs just took advantage of their fans who sold out Wrigley every day, regardless, or good or bad. And I just thought, they deserved to lose. But they've turned it around, and now we're getting. I mean, golly, we can't even compete with the Cubs. They're not that good. They look that good against us. They're not that good, and so it's a little. And they'll go out and improve their team. They'll make some sort of move next year to be better. I don't know that the Pirates will do that.
Yep.
On that happy note.
Well, Pirates lose 3 out of 4 to the Cubs. They are 1-9 against them on the season. I think that's it. They actually, I think they've got one more series against the Cubs.
Yeah, they play at Wrigley, I think, in September.
Yeah, so one more series against the Cubs to try to make it a somewhat respectable season against them. But yeah, a rough series. It was one of those things where you look at it and you're just like, man, these guys started rebuilding after us, and they seem to be miles ahead. And it's just
like I said, they didn't do it by signing Scherzer and Verlander, right? I mean, they got Stroman, they got Ty. I mean, they didn't. They didn't go crazy. They just made a couple savvy moves, and then they developed their own players. It'd be nice if we could do something like that.
Pirates have some. Yeah, Pirates have some chance for some wins this week. They play two.
Cardinals, right?
They play two pretty bad teams. Tomorrow's another national TV game on FS1 against the Royals. Zach Greinke on the mound against the Pirates. So get to see a little bit of Greinke. Oviedo starts for the Pirates. And news today is Luis Ortiz will at least make one more start. No,
he definitely
chance.
Definitely earned it after the.
Yeah. Right. But no, thanks for watching, guys. Wish we had a little bit better of a game to talk about, but yeah, 10-1 final score. Pirates are now 58 and 73 on the season.
500 still possible.
500 still possible.
Mathematically, it's still possible.
Playoffs are still possible, technically. I don't know if you heard Ben Sherrington today. He mentioned he doesn't expect Cruz back for any regular season games. But
okay. But
there's
he may make it back for that wild card series that we're on the doorstep. Right.
Yep. But hopefully a better week ahead for the Pirates. We will be here tomorrow with we got Starbucks in the morning, and then we've got a post-game show in the evening.
I'm feeling pretty sexy today with my North Shore 9.
Love it.
Available, I would say at a store near you, but I'm sure there's a link somewhere.
Yeah, link in the comments. So if you want to get some North Shore 9 gear, it's there's some good stuff there. But yeah, thanks a lot for
That's the
watching.
best thing that we've talked about the whole show. So
thanks a lot for watching along, guys. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. I know it's tough watching the Pirates this late in the year when things seem so doom and gloom, but we're a group therapy session
we're 2 weeks away from the Steelers opener, where there will be no reason to. Yeah, I'm going to the September 10th Atlanta Braves game. Steelers opener. Do you think? I think I might be the only Pirate fan watching the Pirates.
You might be. So, all right, guys. Well, have a good one. Have a good rest of your Sunday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All right.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.